Well, Capricorn, hello. Hello, Capricorn. Thank you guys so much for coming back to my channel. If you are new, hello, I am Yasmin. If you have not already, please like and subscribe. Capricorn, this is going to be your July reading. Of course, you guys already know we're going to have multiple readings throughout the month of July, but this is going to be your July reading here. Now, Capricorn, we are going to start with some, well, we're going to start with different oracles. Okay. So we're going to start with the money oracles. We're going to start with the element oracles, transit oracles, and then we're going to get into the tarot. So we're going to see what's going to come out here for you, Capricorn. Let's see what's coming out here. We're going to start with the first deck here. This is for Capricorn. This is for Capricorn. First card that's coming out here for you, Capricorn, is offering. Now, one thing that I will tell you, offering can come in different formats. Okay, so some of you guys are actually, you may have altars, that type of stuff, and I know some people don't really get into that, so I try not to talk about that on this channel too much. But I mean, I'm just telling you that some of you guys do. This is also saying that like what you give out comes back to you. I love this energy because not everyone shares that type of mentality. So it is letting me know that what you give out will return. Now, this card also speaks of that the universe will meet your needs. Okay. Now, I don't really see, Capricorn struggling too much in the money department, but I know that not all Capricorns are doing, wonderful and magnificent. That's just not the case. So if that is the case, where you're not doing well financially, it literally says the universe will meet your needs. Okay. I also feel like there's going to be someone who's going to come in at the right time. I don't really know what that means. I know usually when I see that in the tarot, I can tell you specifically, but these are oracles, so I can't necessarily tell you specifically how this will happen. This could be someone who's going to enter your life to like give you ideas. This is someone that can recommend you for something, assist you in some way. That will happen. Recommend, assist, gifting, something like that. Okay. I just don't know how it will work, but it's going to help you financially. Okay. So part of the universe meeting your needs is going to come by way of someone. That's what I see. And I also feel that, if there is something that you guys are needing help in, do not be afraid to ask for help. I know you probably have that problem. I definitely know for a fact that Sagittarius have that issue as well, where let's say you had your own business, you have different people that you can ask to help you set up your business. To, if you have like a space that you're renting, to help decorate it, right? So you don't have to do everything by yourself. But you rather not. So you're being told that like it's okay to ask. Okay. And if people don't, they don't, but it's okay to ask. That's what I'm saying. But I definitely see that there's going to be someone who's going to come in here and assist you in some way when it comes down to your finances. Okay. Let's see what else is going to come out here for Capricorn. Hello, guys. It's so funny. You guys be all up in my comment section talking about where's Capricorn? Where's Capricorn? And then I don't hear you. I don't be hearing from you guys. I'm like, where in the world are you at? And this is not for those who are here. That's for the ones who are going to look at this afterward. It's like you guys have to put on the notification bell. Okay. Now, the next card that I have here for you guys is prudence. Okay, so now we're going to talk about some PSAs. We're saying this is in the month of July. And, a lot of this information that we're going to be reading is going to be attached to astrology, and it's mostly going to be dealing with the tarot. But some of you guys need to know this right now, even if this information stretches out further in the future. It says, do not let the balance of your credit cards get too high. Some of you guys may use your credit cards to go on trips. It's the summer, especially here in the States. You may go on trips. You may buy things just because you may have events to go on, stuff like that. So it says just be careful about using your credit card. But this is also saying stay within your budget. Okay. Yeah, you may have certain events that you may want to go to. Yes, that's okay. That's fine. But this is getting out of control here. Learn to be flexible with your money, okay? But that's something that I'm saying. You keep having this card here. Look, this is another card. This is not the card that I saw when we talked about the help before. This is not the only card in this deck. And it's coming out here again. I'm not really sure why that's coming out. Now, the other card that came out here is fulfilled. Now, I'm going to go to another set of cards, but I just wanted to show you this. This is saying that some of you guys are not happy where the jobs that you're at. Whatever you're working, either A, it's not paying enough money, or you just cannot stand your place of employment. And so this card says that you may want to explore other options. And it says don't be too afraid to make certain changes. So if we're saying that you're unfulfilled, let's say you're not making enough money, are you, putting your resume out there to get jobs that have a higher pay? Okay. But I definitely see that some of you guys are not necessarily happy with either your pay or your place of employment. And we're going to see how that's going to play out for you in the month of July. We're going to see if anything is going to change in that area. Now, we're going to go ahead and get into your elements. This is dealing with your transits here for the month of July for Capricorn. Let's see what comes out here for you. Capricorn. Ascendant. Now, don't be frightened by this. Now, it says opposition. Now, because this is coming out, we're going to see why this is. We're going to see it in the tarot. Remember, the oracles do not give us details that the tarot does, okay? Opposition, could be, there could be some problems with traveling. It doesn't have to be anything extreme. Maybe there's delays in some things that you have been expecting or something like that, but we'll find out, okay? Now, here you have Ascendant. Ascendant talks about first impressions. So some of you guys may be meeting someone, which is interesting because like I said before, there could be some type of new job that some of you guys may go into or something new that you may be doing. This is also talks about business meetings, contracts, that type of stuff. But if we're talking about relationships, romantic connections, your first impressions as well, how people think of you and how you think of other people are going to be very potent this month. This also talks about how you feel about yourself. Maybe you're going to be changing things up this month. Maybe you're going to have the idea about changing your appearance. This happens so much in the summertime. People always try to get ready before the summer. And when the summer comes, they're not necessarily able to wear what they want to wear. They don't necessarily like the way that they look in the clothes that they're in. And it always is very triggering in the summertime. Okay. So this may be one of those times where you're kind of like, okay, something needs to change. And you may really put forth effort in actually changing something about your appearance. And it doesn't have to always be weight. It could be the clothes that you wear. It could be the hairstyle that you're wearing. It's something that you're like, I need a little pizzazz. I need to change something up about myself. And so the month of July is saying that could be very much so a reality for a lot of you. Okay. But those two things is what I'm seeing with the Ascendant. Ascendant, like I said before, has something to do with first impressions, whether it's you or someone else, jobs or romantic, and also your appearance, your aura. Okay. That is what I'm saying. Now, I am going to put this opposition card here because I don't want to forget it. But let's go ahead. Let's get your next card that comes out. Do I want to do another element card? No, not really. Let's do this one. This is going to be for Capricorn. At the bottom of the deck, you have a love interest here. Okay. All of this stuff is very, very important. We're going to come back to this when we get to the tarot. But the card that came out here is Squirrel. Okay. And this is what it says. Secretive energy, yes. But it also talks about preparing for things. Preparing for things. Okay. It also talks about saving. And it talks about miscommunication. Now, when we get to this card, we're going to see specifically what that could mean because it could be all of it. Okay. Some of you guys may actually encounter a few of these on this card. You may encounter miscommunication. You may be trying to save for the month of July. You may be trying to prepare for something for the month of July, but we're going to go ahead and see what that could be. Okay. So this is what we see. Now we're going to go ahead and get into the tarot, like I said earlier. I'm going to use this deck actually. This is going to be for Capricorn. We're going to start with the offering cards. This is for Capricorn. Now, however it lands is the way I'm going to take it, okay? For Capricorn. Thank you. You had the Emperor in the upright. And you had the Three of Cups in the upright. This is really good with the Ace of Cups in the upright. Wow. Whoa. This is the month of July, by the way. Okay? We haven't got to the opposition card, but so far this is really good because remember, offering talks about what? A sense of manifestation. What are you manifesting? The Emperor in all aspects is something really good because it puts you in a sense of control. You now have control over something, over things in your life, your money, your emotions, especially with your emotions because you got the Ace of Cups and the Three of Cups, right? Now you're back in the driver's seat. Or that is something that's going to be happening, or at least starting to happen in the month of July. I love this for you because I can actually tell that that's what's really happening just due to the Three of Cups. It's a celebratory energy, okay? Now, we talked about before how there could be someone who's going to come in and enter your life that is going to be a catalyst in some kind of way because this is what you are praying for. This is what you've been meditating about, and this is what you have been offering. What I said, some of you guys may have an altar or whatever. This is what you have been manifesting. There is a love interest here. The Emperor and the Empress is like love interest energy for me. It's other cards as well, but it's more so like the love interest. So I do see that there's someone who could give you something. Now, mind you, like I said before, remember, the beginning of the reading says someone acting as a catalyst into your finances. Now, the Emperor could be a judge. The Emperor could be a father. The Emperor could be a love interest, male or female, it doesn't matter, right? You're getting something from these people. You're getting something from a boss. Like I said before, this could be a boss as well. The head of a company, okay? And how was your reaction to that? How are you responding? Where the Three of Cups came in the upright says, now it's time to celebrate. Because you are in a position of power here, and that could actually be a promotion. So for some of you, it's not necessarily about getting the job anymore because you already got the job, but now it's about advancement. It's about, an achievement, something that you're achieving, and your money is tied to that. It's attached to that. And so I totally see that your money looks really, really good for you. Okay. Now, I do see that there is, in a romantic setting, I do see with the Three of Cups that there is going to be some type of, maybe you're meeting people through friends. This is some type of social outing, social event or something like that I see. I do see you going out with someone because this is also coming together with someone. So even if it's not necessarily, technically it's always an outing if you go to dinner, right? There's other people around, that type of stuff. But it could also be something that you'd be invited to, okay? You could be invited to this particular gathering or outing. But this is also saying that there could be someone that's a love interest that's inviting you to dinner, okay? Three of Cups is always coming together, that type of thing. It's a reunion, like this card says. It's a reunion. And it's a collaborative energy. I actually really like this because it's funny because this is something that's been sitting on your heart for a while. And it looks like this is about to come to fruition for you. I already kind of feel that a lot of you are in this energy already. I have to say it. I feel like you're dating already, or there's a love interest that is around, and it's a very active month. And so going to parties, socializing, is something that I see that's going to be very active this month. And some of you guys are going to be meeting people through friends. You're going to be making new friends this month, or new associates. I'll say it that way. More so people who could be more so new associates because it's hard to call someone a friend. But I definitely see that there's going to be a very, very active month for you. A lot of good times here in this reading, okay, just based off of what I see with that first set of cards. But man, if you are single, there's a strong possibility that you're going to be meeting someone new in the month of July. Now, it doesn't have to be in July. You guys have to know your charts. I haven't done your reading like live in a while, so I know some of you guys don't hear me say this. If you watch tarot and you do not know your chart, it is irresponsible, because there are people who are Capricorns who know what their chart looks like, and they know when this love is going to enter. Okay, so for some of you, it's in the month of July. For others, it may be somewhere in October, but nonetheless, it will happen. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and get to the prudence part. Because see, now we see there's a lot of good times happening. There's a lot of invitations. And remember, we talked about, going on vacation, having to buy different things because now you're going out more. It says stay within budget. We get it. Stay within budget though. But let's get prudence here for Capricorn. I'm going to go with how it falls. So you had the 7 of Cups in reverse and you had the Queen of Cups in the upright. Prudence, we understand, has something to do with money, right? But prudence also has something to do with your emotional energy. It has something to do with your willingness to give. And so here the universe is saying, hey, you need to slow down a little bit. Okay, don't get out of balance with how people give back to you, the reciprocation. And I'm just going to tell you, I feel like right now that's what you've been doing. This could be with family, friends, lovers, whoever. You are out of line. You know how your parents used to tell you that? You are out of line. Because there's a lot of confusion in you, all right? And it's causing you to not focus as much because you are trying to appease someone outside of you. And you guys have to get out of that. Because this is like an emotional debt. You are becoming drained. And we even see that here with the Queen of Cups, because this is all emotion. 7 of Cups, Queen of Cups. This is all emotion. Hitting what? The prudence card. Prudence in money talks about don't be careful about what you spend. Money is energy. Whatever you're giving to someone to give you a service. So the same thing happens in relationships. Be careful about how you give to someone. Because I'm telling you, there's a lack of growth in a relationship where there's a stagnancy here, where you feel boggled down, where someone isn't really putting forth a lot of effort. And then what happens? This happens all the time in relationships. The other person picks up the slack. So in July, it's like, okay, we're going to try to do something a little bit different. That's where the opposition is coming from, by the way. See, opposed energy it isn't a straight line. That's what the opposition is. That's something that you have to confront. A person that you have to confront, emotions that you have to confront. And it's coming from the love area to me, or someone that you have feelings for. It's very obvious here that you have to ask yourself, is this worth it? Okay. In the month of July, you will be faced with that because some of you guys are already there. But I kind of feel that you need to make a decision because there's some unclear energy here. There's some illusions that you're still holding on about a particular person when we're speaking in regards to love. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's get to the ascendant or Capricorn. Let's get to the ascendant. Now, you had the Chariot in the upright and the 6 of Wands in the reverse. This is very interesting because both of those talks about achievement, recognition, and success. You are definitely going to be experiencing that, by the way. Hands down. Okay, and I know for a fact that this is true because every time I do your reading, it's always about where you're headed. It's about goal-oriented energy, and most of you guys already are very much so set on something that you want to do, no matter if it has something to do with a weight loss goal or your money goals. This is success all the way. We even said that with the first row because we talked about the 3 of Cups having something to celebrate. So we already know that's going to happen. Okay, so I love this. And so I will say congratulatory energy in advance. Congratulations with this. Okay. Now, this is part of your ego too, because remember it talks about your role, and this is why I feel like there's some type of prominence here like I said, a position of power. I don't know what you're doing. Maybe it's your own business. I don't know. But even if it's not your own business, someone in your company definitely is saying you need to be where we are. Like they are recognizing how good you are with what you do. And I mean, I'm talking about this coming out really, really strong in this reading. So really good, Capricorn, on that. But it's always like the downer part, right? Because it's always something about our lives that are not necessarily cohesive. And so you have a love interest here. But we saw the opposition start in the second part of the cards. And so it's continuing even in the third part of the cards. So I already knew the opposition most likely was going to come in love because it's a power struggle. And like I said, it's the things that you need to confront. Even people who you are dealing with that has to confront some things on their own. You could be dealing with someone in general who is narcissistic in nature, or they have that type of, quality or what you would consider to be a behavior pattern. This is someone in general who may feel, and, I want to say this, watching your energy and seeing how successful you are. If you're around someone who isn't quite as successful, they may not tell you, but they could be a little, not, should I say jealous, but I feel like they can, how you could be around people and they feel little. You guys get what I'm saying? In a romantic sense, it doesn't even mean that the person that you're dealing with, even if they had money and they had a lot of success, is part of your personality. You could be just so bubbly, you could be so bright, you could be so positive. And this person kind of envies that. It is some inadequacy about someone that you're dealing with because they could be the type of person to show off in every area of their life. I look good, they talk a good game, that type of stuff, but then they're so without in other areas. And I'm not really sure what that could be, but I'm just giving you a general. Someone wants your attention. And, and it's funny because I see them wanting your attention one minute and then the next minute they don't. Someone is trying to win your heart one minute and the next minute they don't. And I don't know if you're rejecting them, but there's a sense of confusion within this person. And I'm telling you, you are mirroring that. You are definitely mirroring that energy. This is why Spirit was basically telling you to be prudent when it comes down to your energy, your emotional energy. Because if this person isn't really giving you exactly what you are wanting, right? A lot of that has something to do with your role in entertaining them. I'm not blaming you, but we don't want this connection to be one-sided. We also talked about the lack of effort. This is obvious. That means it's something that you can see. This is not something that you're guessing. This is something that you're totally seeing. Okay, does this person even like me? Like I said before, it just feels like they like your attention. They want attention. And I do know for a fact that I've seen this in plenty of people's readings where the person just wants the attention. They don't like the fact that Capricorn isn't paying attention to them. They don't like the fact of being vulnerable. I can tell you that right off the bat, this person does not like vulnerability. And if you kind of strike up something in them that makes them feel vulnerable, they're going to be out the door. They're going to go the opposite way. They do not like that. Okay. You are dealing with someone who is very self-centered and very selfish in nature. I'm not saying that you can change them, but I'm just saying that there's a part of you that needs to change because here it is. We go back to the opposition. You guys are mirroring each other. That is so crazy. I literally was about to say mirror and I looked over and it says mirror. And I swear I didn't even know that was on that card. That's why I said, whatever you're doing, you're also, what is your role in this? Like truly, this is not just them. This is you as well. You're feeding into it. Because the Chariot card here says, well, you can move forward. You do know that, right, Capricorn? You can move forward. Like, how much time do you want to waste? But, I don't know. Maybe you like the way that this person looks. This person may look a little attractive because remember, the Ascendant talks about the face, right? Remember, we said that someone looks good. First impressions. Ooh. Right? But the Chariot card says if this person isn't willing to Oh God, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to leave that alone. The only thing that I will tell you, just based off of what I see, is that don't get trapped in the illusion of love, the fantasy of what could be because of what someone is telling you. Because there is some type of fantasy energy in this reading. Okay. Not everyone will experience that, but I definitely see it because I see you dealing with other people. And some of you guys stop talking to other people to even give more energy into this person. That's what I don't like. It's like, damn, Capricorn, you actually did that? I don't know. Maybe they won you over long enough for you to drop your other options, but I do see that you did. I can tell you that. Now, here with Squirrel, it talks about secrets. Now, we already talked about how this person's energy is, right? Now we're going to go to what's happening. Let's get Squirrel. Look at that. Look at that. You cannot, this is crazy. So you guys had the Ace of Swords in the upright, which is crazy. You had the Ten of Swords in the upright, and then you had the Six of Pentacles literally in reverse. And the first thing it says is conditionally. What can I get from you? Are you giving me money? Are you giving me attention? Are you giving me access to your body? Because remember, Prudence talked about one-sidedness. We even said that earlier in the reading. One-sidedness, I already knew it was one-sided. Emotionally, you are giving too much to someone who isn't even really trying as much. That's the debt that you are trying to pay back. An emotional debt. Yes. Could it be actual debt? Yes, we talked about that, which is the reason why I said you need to slow down on your spending and you need to start saving. Because some of y'all got unpaid debts, and it's like bills that you need to pay for that you ain't even paying for, but you're too busy doing other stuff with the money. I don't really say that too much for Capricorn, but I got to tell you because it's here showing it, right? So certain things need to be, your priorities are going to have to be adjusted with this one. I'm just telling you, because anytime it says lopsided, that means priorities are off. Okay, that's just for a few of you, not for everybody. Now we're going to go back to the love portion because money is going to be okay. We're going to go back to the love portion. Isn't this crazy? Because this card talks about secrets, and then the Ace of Swords, out of all the cards, came up in the upright. That could have came out in reverse. It's like, oh, okay, so this is the thing. Now you're going to be clear about what this is when it comes down to this connection, because we already know there's some shadiness already happening. I'm not blaming the person for being vulnerable. I'm not blaming a person for not wanting to be vulnerable to someone because there could be fear that they're experiencing. Yeah, I'm not blaming them, but I don't like the other energy that talks about how they're coming in for their own selfish gain, though. And the Ace of Swords is really about how they're doing it. It's about that smooth talker, right? Yeah, I don't like that. And so the Ten of Swords says because there has been secrets, because the Ace of Swords talks about you being clear about something, the Ten of Swords talks about you may figure out that this could be a dead end, that this is not going to go anywhere. We talked about that anyway, because we said what before? It says stagnancy. You can't be in a relationship that has no growth. You can't be in a relationship that is a dead end. And a lot of you have been working so hard and so diligently with trying to keep this connection going because you don't want failure. You don't like the sense of failure. And so you were yourself, really. The universe is like, hey, you may need to let this go. You're like, no, I'm going to work on this. I'm going to try to make this work. I'm going to try to make it work. But not only that, maybe you were blocked. We talked about illusion. We talked about fantasy. We talked about, uncertainty here. It wasn't time yet. Maybe you were knee deep in deception. Maybe this person really was deceiving you based on their words here with the Ace of Swords. And it's very well possible because they impressed you when you first met them. They impressed you with the words and what they said that they were going to do for you. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and get to your last, just one more card. And we're going to go ahead and get into I'm going to go to the other signs. This is for Capricorn. Let's see what's coming out here for Capricorn. 2 cards here for Capricorn. Woof, man, Capricorn. You will be somebody's number one. That I can tell you. But it says clean up. So I feel like that's the secret that you may find out, because it says deleted texts or calls, some type of app that someone could be on, or someone can have a second phone. You're going to find out something. Okay. Then the next card here says, I'm trash, got the game down. Once a cheater, always a cheater. You're not the first and you will not be the last. All right. So this is everything that we pretty much talked about pretty much in the middle part of the reading. Okay, when it came down to this person's personality and what they're doing and what they are willing to do when it comes down to your connection to them. Okay, so Capricorn, this is what I have for you guys. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. And again, if you guys are new, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you are interested in a personal reading, all of that information is down below. Capricorn, I'll see you later. Love you guys. Bye.